You betrayed me! How could you stand there after everything?
The rain hammered down like God's own judgment, soaking through Ethan's flannel shirt as his father's words sliced deeper than any blade. "You're no son of mine. Get out before you poison everything we've built." At 18, Ethan Harper stood trembling on the cracked sidewalk outside Harper Hardware. The family empire his grandfather had forged from nothing. Now a kingdom he'd been exiled from in a single, shattering heartbeat. He clutched the faded company lanyard like a lifeline, its plastic edges cutting into his palm, while thunder cracked overhead, mirroring the storm raging in his chest. The brutal truth of his love for boys exposed, twisted into a weapon that severed him from blood and legacy forever. Ethan stumbled through the downpour, the neon glow of the store's sign blurring into a hazy accusation behind him. His sneakers squelched against puddles that reflected the sprawling suburb of Elmwood, Ohio, a place where picket fences hid secrets sharper than barbed wire. And men like him learned early to bury their hearts under layers of silence. He'd known the risks. Of course, whispers in high school locker rooms. The way his father's Bible thumped on the kitchen table during sermons on sin. But last night, caught in a stolen kiss with Tommy behind the stockroom shelves, the fragile dam had broken. Now, penniless and adrift, Ethan hitched a ride to the city lights of Cleveland, vowing silently that survival would be his revenge. The Greyhound bus jolted to a stop in the heart of downtown, where skyscrapers pierced the smoggy dawn like defiant fingers. Ethan had $20 in his pocket, enough for a flophouse cot and a stale diner burger. He crashed in a dingy, single-room occupancy hotel on East 6th Street, the kind where roaches skittered like old regrets and the walls thrummed with the muffled sobs of strangers. Days blurred into a grind, washing dishes at a greasy spoon for minimum wage, his hands raw from scalding water. Dreams of drafting blueprints for the store's expansions now reduced to sketching escape routes on napkins. Nights were worse, lying awake, replaying his father's snarl, the way his mother's eyes had darted away, choosing legacy over love. It was on one such night, 3 weeks in, that Ethan met Marcus. The bar was a dive called The Anchor, tucked in the shadow of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, where the air hung heavy with cigarette smoke and the ghosts of Motown records spinning on a jukebox. Ethan nursed a watered-down beer, his reflection in the scarred bar top showing hollow cheeks and eyes shadowed by exhaustion. Marcus slid onto the stool beside him, all easy confidence in a threadbare leather jacket over a band tee, his dark skin glowing under the amber lights, locks tied back with a faded bandana. "You look like you just lost a war," Marcus said, his voice a warm rumble that cut through the din. Hazel eyes locking on Ethan's with an intensity that felt like being seen for the first time. Ethan laughed bitterly, the sound scraping his throat. "More like got drafted into one I didn't choose." They talked, or rather, Marcus coaxed words from him like coaxing fire from wet wood. Marcus was 25, a graphic designer scraping by on freelance gigs for local bands. His portfolio a riot of bold colors and hidden heartaches. He'd grown up in the projects of East Cleveland, where coming out meant dodging fists from family and friends alike. But he'd carve a path anyway, tattoos snaking up his arms like maps of battles won. By closing time, as the bartender flipped chairs onto tables, Marcus pressed a crumpled business card into Ethan's hand. "Call me if you need a blueprint for getting back up. I know a thing or two about building from ruins." The call came 2 days later, after Ethan botched a shift and got canned. his last paycheck barely covering rent. Marcus showed up at the hotel with a duffel of takeout soul food and a sketch pad under his arm. "Can't fix the world," he said, unpacking ribs and cornbread on the rickety table. "But I can fix your hunger. And maybe draw you a way out." They spent the afternoon trading stories. Ethan's of sawdust-scented summers stacking lumber at the store. Marcus's of spray-painting murals on abandoned warehouses to scream what words couldn't. Laughter crept in, tentative at first, then full-throated, chasing shadows from the room. When Marcus leaned in, their lips brushing soft and searching, Ethan felt the world tilt, not in ruin, but in possibility. It was a kiss that tasted of barbecue sauce and unspoken promises, the first crack of light in his endless night. From there, they built a fragile rhythm. Marcus sublet a corner of his cramped loft in the Flats district, overlooking the Cuyahoga River's lazy coils. And Ethan crashed there, repaying with elbow grease, fixing leaky faucets, organizing chaotic design files into something resembling order. He enrolled in community college night classes, devouring business courses like a man starved, his mind sharpening on strategies his father had hoarded like gold. Marcus watched him study, fingers tracing idle patterns on Ethan's back, murmuring, "You're not just surviving, babe. You're scheming." And Ethan was. Late nights, he'd pore over trade journals smuggled from the library, sketching business plans for a startup, eco-friendly hardware kits for urban homesteaders, blending his family's grit with Marcus's creative flair. But shadows lingered. A letter arrived one gray November morning, postmarked from Elmwood, his mother's handwriting. Tentative loops begging forgiveness without apology. "Your father misses the store's spark. Come home for Christmas." Ethan's hands shook as he tore it to shreds, the pieces fluttering like confetti from a funeral. Marcus found him curled on the fire escape, rain mingling with silent tears. "They don't get to pull you back in chains," Marcus whispered, wrapping strong arms around him, their bodies fitting like puzzle pieces forged in fire. That night, under the loft's slanted skylight, they made love slow and fierce, bodies mapping forgiveness neither had words for yet. Marcus's touch was a revelation, gentle where Ethan's scars screamed, insistent where doubt whispered retreat. In the afterglow, tangled in sheets that smelled of them, Ethan confessed his wildest dream, not just to thrive, but to eclipse the empire that cast him out. By spring, their partnership bloomed into something tangible. Ethan's startup, Greenford Supplies, launched from Marcus's kitchen table, a line of modular toolkits for city dwellers turning balconies into workshops. Sustainable and sleek, with packaging designed by Marcus's deft hand. They bootstrapped with side hustles, Ethan bartending at the Anchor, Marcus hustling prints at art fairs. Investors were scarce at first, skeptical suits eyeing two young black and white men in a loft that screamed bohemian risk. But Ethan's pitch, honed on rejection's whetstone, burned with authenticity, we're not selling tools. We're selling second chances to build without breaking. A seed grant from a queer entrepreneurship fund changed everything, injecting $50,000 that let them lease a warehouse on the east side. Success crept in like dawn after a vigil. Orders trickled from eco-blogs and hardware expos, then surged with a viral TikTok Marcus shot, Ethan assembling a kit on their fire escape. Sweat-damp shirt clinging, voice steady as he quipped, "From family fallout to fixer-upper, here's how you rebuild." Views exploded. Shares from influencers in the LGBTQ plus community who saw their own stories in the subtext. Green Forge hit 6 figures in revenue that first year. Ethan and Marcus celebrating with cheap champagne on the riverbank. Fireworks bursting over the water like stars claiming the sky. But triumph was laced with tension. Ethan's drive bordered on obsession. Late nights, blurring into dawn as he chased metrics, fearing one slip would echo his father's verdict. Marcus grounded him. Always. This isn't revenge, Ethan. It's redemption for us. Their love deepened in stolen moments. Lazy Sundays, sketching logos in bed. Marcus's head on Ethan's lap. Heated arguments over branding that dissolved into makeup sex against the fridge. Breathless and bruising. Yet cracks formed under pressure. When a major distributor pulled out citing brand misalignment, code for their rainbow flag endorsements, Ethan spiraled, accusing Marcus of prioritizing aesthetics over bottom lines. You think pretty packaging fixes prejudice? He snapped, voice echoing in the loft. Marcus's eyes flashed hurt, but he held firm, no. But hiding who we are? That fixes nothing. The fight lingered like smoke, but a call from Elmwood shattered the stalemate. His father was sick, pancreatic cancer. Stage 3. The store faltering under his uncle's inept hand. Ethan's mother pleaded over the line. Voice cracking. He asks about you. In his quiet moments. Says the business needs its heir. Rage boiled in Ethan's gut. But beneath it, a hollow ache, the boy who'd once idolized his dad, trailing him through aisles of nails and dreams. He drove back alone. Marcus's worried gaze in the rear view, a tether he ignored. Elmwood hadn't changed. Same soda fountain at the diner. Same judgmental stares as he walked Main Street in his pressed chinos and blazer. A far cry from the flannel kid they'd banished. The store was a ghost of itself, shelves sparse. Fluorescent buzz mocking the ghosts of prosperity. His father lay propped in the back office, gaunt and gray, oxygen mask hissing like accusations. You look successful, Harlan Harper rasped, eyes flicking over Ethan's tailored frame. Ethan stood rigid, arms crossed. I am. Built it without you. The words hung, sharp as chisels. Harlan coughed, waving a frail hand. Should have known sooner. The boy, Tommy, regret flickered, but pride snuffed it. Family name's all we got. Can't let it tarnish. Ethan leaned in, voice low thunder. You tarnish me first. But watch, I'll polish it brighter than you ever could. He left without embrace. The drive back to Cleveland a blur of fury and grief. Marcus waited with open arms. No questions, just the steady anchor of his presence. Whatever storm you weathered, he murmured, fingers combing through Ethan's hair. We sail through it together. That vulnerability reignited them. Love rekindled in the loft's dim glow. Bodies entwined with an urgency born of near loss. Marcus traced the roadmap of Ethan's scars, literal and not, whispering affirmations that stitched wounds closed. In the quiet after, Ethan shared the visit, tears hot on Marcus's chest. He's dying, and I hate that I still care. Marcus held him tighter. Caring doesn't make you weak. It makes you whole. Green Forge surged forward, riding the wave of Ethan's renewed fire. They expanded to online fulfillment, partnering with queer-owned logistics firms. Their brand a beacon for the marginalized, toolkits branded with slogans like Build Your Truth. Revenue doubled, then tripled, Venture capital circled like sharks scenting blood. At 30, Ethan stood at a TEDx stage in Columbus, spotlights hot on his skin, recounting his exile not as tragedy, but as genesis. They fired me for loving fiercely. I fired back by loving smarter, myself, my partner, my purpose. The applause thundered. Marcus in the front row, eyes shining with pride that felt like home. But fate twisted cruelly. Harlan's decline accelerated. The call came mid-negotiation for a 7-figure round. He's gone, his mother sobbed. Ethan flew back. The funeral a tableau of hypocrisy, cousins murmuring condolences while avoiding his gaze. The pastor droning on family values that rang hollow. At the graveside, under a sky bruised purple, Ethan knelt by the fresh earth, whispering, "You built walls. I learned to climb them." His mother approached, frail now herself, pressing a brass key into his palm, the office vault, stuffed with deeds to the crumbling chain. "He left it to you," said. The boys got the steel, the weight of it crushed and liberated. Back in Cleveland, Ethan showed Marcus the documents. Spreadsheets yellowed, with age revealing an empire teetering on bankruptcy. 30 stores. That's like anchors. "Buy it," Marcus echoed, brow arched. "Swallow the beast that bit you." Ethan's smile was wolfish. "Exactly." Turn poison to power. They dove in. Greenforge wore chest-fueling due diligence. Lawyers pored over ledgers. Marcus redesigned the brand. Harper Hardware reborn as Harper Legacy. Inclusive lines for every builder. From drag queens crafting sets to dads mending fences. Whispers rippled through boardrooms. The prodigal son, gay and unapologetic, poised to resurrect the corpse. The board fought dirty, leaks to tabloids painting Ethan as vengeful opportunist. Smears on his lifestyle, unfit for stewardship. Protests erupted outside the flagship. Picketers chanting slurs that clawed at old wounds. One night, bottles shattered against the loft window, glass raining like his 18th birthday storm. Marcus barricaded the door, heart pounding, while Ethan paced, fists balled. "They're afraid," he growled, "of what we represent, love that outlasts hate." Marcus pulled him close, lips fierce against his. "Then show them. Buy it all. Make it ours." The climax unfolded in a sterile conference room in downtown Cleveland, air thick with cologne and contempt. The board, stiff suits. His uncle's scowl prominent, faced Ethan across mahogany. Marcus at his side in a sharp vest that screamed solidarity. "Your bid's insulting," the chairman sneered. A fire sale to the family black sheep. Ethan leaned forward, voice steel-wrapped silk. "Insulting? It's mercy. 20 million salvages your pensions. Rebrands your failure into future. Refuse, and bankruptcy court strips you bare." Silence stretched, taut as a bowstring. Marcus's hand brushed his under the table, a pulse of unwavering faith. They blinked first. Papers signed in a flurry, the gavel's echo sealing it. Ethan Harper, the boy they discarded, now on every bolt and beam. Champagne corks popped in the loft that night. But Ethan's toast was quiet, to the kid who ran. And the man who returned unbreakable. Marcus pulled him into a dance. Slow sway to phantom jazz. Their laughter mingling with tears. "We did it," Marcus breathed, forehead to Ethan's. "Not you. We." In the years that followed, Harper Legacy thrived, an empire of empowerment. Stores hosting workshops for LGBTQ plus youth on building safe spaces. Literal and not. Ethan's mother visited once. Tentative steps toward amends. Finding in her son not bitterness, but boundless grace. She died peacefully, clutching a green-forged toolkit, whispering of pride long withheld. Marcus and Ethan married under Ohio's oak canopy. Rings etched with blueprints of their shared life, vowing in the face of storms past and those yet to come. At 35, Ethan stood on the original Elmwood storefront steps, Marcus's hand in his, dedicating a plaque. For those cast out, may you always find your way home. The crowd, diverse faces, stories etched in cheers, erupted, a symphony of second chances. In that moment, Ethan knew legacy wasn't blood or boardrooms. It was love, fierce and unyielding, that bought back the world.